Hey everybody, how's it going? So thanks for coming along to episode number 3 of Fundy Funspot. We're moving along at such great pace. Guys, as always, thank you so much for the support that you're showing for this series and in fact for this channel. It really does mean the absolute world to me. And of course, if you're not already subscribed and you want to know when the next episodes, especially of Fundy Funspot, come out, then you know what to do. The subscribe button's there somewhere, so thank you so much. This is what we're building then. This is Fundy Funspot. It's a British theme park, but it's very much the low budget style theme park that's borrowing very heavily from Fantasy Island, and the reason for that is because Fantasy Island is an awesome park that's very much low budget but very looked after. So everything is really themed on the inside, and on the outside it's just rides thrown into a car park, and that's what we're going for here in Planet Coaster. So this is what we did in the last episode. This whole adventure area, and this is the area that we were working in. This is the area we're working in for this episode. Then you can see already that the decision has been made about the the flat ride. It's gone. We've got other things that we can put into this area. So I'm still going for a more Hawaiian boardwalk style theme with this. I think a lot of you suggested about mini golf, so I think I want to try and fit in a mini golf in here as well, and possibly just some more rides. And in answer to the question of whether we should steal Mask Bandit's idea and do a community submission for the town, absolutely. You overwhelmingly said you wanted to do it, so let's do it. Let's just go ahead. So, guys, what I need from you, if you want to have your building or whatever loaded into the park and into the town when we do the crossover episode, then all you need to do is load your submission into the Steam Workshop with the title Fundy Funspot, and then whatever you're calling your building. I'm going to be using the phrase Fundy Funspot to find your submission. So if you don't use that in your title, I won't find it. It's that simple. So you've got until the end of the series to put your submissions up. Plenty of time. So really looking forward to seeing those. So I reckon without further ado, let's just crack on. This area we're working on, and I'll show you what happens. Let's go. Alright, so I'm making a mess, and of course, what better time to show you around than when it's in a mess. So this is the mess, and I'll see you for the next update. No, I'm joking. So yeah, this is coming together quite nicely actually. I originally wanted this to be a Hawaiian theme, the theme to be Hawaiian, but it turns out that Hawaii is more beautiful in terms of scenery, so it relies a lot on vegetation and foliage, and that's not something that we can achieve from inside here, right? Then initially I wanted a boardwalk theme, but I tried to do boardwalk and it just didn't feel right in this area. It has to complement the pirate area, has to complement the adventure area. So what I then found was Caribbean style, and there are some absolutely beautiful scenes in Caribbean cities, and like Barbados and Curaçao. Is that right? Curaçao. Tell me how to say it in the comments, please, guys, because I don't know, and I'm just gonna butcher somebody's beautiful language. But anyway, my takeaway from that is some of those cities use some absolutely beautiful, vibrant colours and some awesome architecture, and I thought actually that complements the adventure and the pirate really well. So particularly this kind of Dutch colonial stucco style, and this is what I'm talking about with those really vibrant, beautiful colours. So I wanted this area to actually have a bit of a carnival feel to it, that whole vibrant, upbeat kind of feel to it. So that's why we've gone with those really bright, vibrant primary colours, really strong bold outlines, really strong decoration, and so from here it just looks awesome as a city street. And then I've started to use this paving that I found on Theme Maker's Toolkit. I've never actually had the opportunity to use it before, so I've just started to use that paving just to give it a bit of a street vibe, and of course we're going to then kit it out with other stuff. And then I've also started the process of putting in the strip lights. So I like how it sits over in the Game of Cones area, so I've decided that actually this should feel like a warm, vibrant street. So I then decided that the area in here needs to be a games area because they wouldn't waste space, but that came because of the golf. So I don't know the first thing about mini golf. I haven't got a clue how I'm going to do this, but I've decided that we need a mini golf, and that's purely because I wanted to give a bit of variation to the levels. This area is feeling a little bit flat, and given that we've got all of this space to work with and everything else is very height rich, there's a bit of depth to everything. This area didn't have much depth, so of course miniature golf is what you do, right? That's just how you do it. So no idea how I'm going to do this, but I've laid out the 9 holes, and I've put it on 3 levels. So we've got the mid level, the top level, and the bottom level. I always wanted it to go over the path, and then I had this dead space here, so I just decided that actually they would probably put some kind of arcade in here, and then the top would be just roofed off and a bit of theming just to hide the fact that you're on top of a building, and then it's just making the most out of that space. Whereas they couldn't do that here, they would just write it off as being a thing. So the next thing I did then was to add in our tallest ride. And for this, I'm actually going to show you a little bit of a tip. So I've not actually shown this to you before, but I've been using this as a pyramid. So this is pretty much how the pyramid is going to look once it's on, and that just gives me the sense of what height I've got to play with. And I decided that actually it was Spike Gordon from one of the Read Up My Ride episode suggested having the something tall in this space rather than having the flat ride, the tracked ride, and I actually quite liked that idea, and I've managed to make it fit just like it just fits. But in order to do that, I needed, let me just move the thing out of the way again, there we go. But in order to do that, I needed to remove some of the volcano, and then I didn't know what kind of hitbox I had, what space I had, because it obviously rotates as it's going around, as it's going up, right? So it's not a case of just being able to keep the volcano as it was. So this is what this is for. Later on, I'm going to come back in, put all the rock work back in, but make sure it's not going to clip with the ride and cause any issues. So that's what this is all about, and that's that mess. I've then decided to put a couple of flat rides down, just the more gentle rides. So we've got Rocktopus, we've got the Waltzers, and then we've got the whatever that is, the Star Ferris wheel thing. Just to make that fit. This now makes sense for this kind of area as well. It's that vibrant Caribbean feel, palm trees and stuff. And then this came about because of the original beach boardwalk theme. So this was originally here, and it just didn't feel right. It just didn't feel like it needed to be. But knowing what we've done with all of the buildings on the outside here, especially with Game of Cones and the Sweet Shop, it felt like this actually could actually work. So of course there's another tortured pun, and I'm not even sorry. Pizza my heart. Oh god. Yeah, so I've just decided it's going to be a pizza shop, and actually this then starts to fit that vibrant Caribbean feel. So it sort of starts to complement it without complement it without overpowering it. So that's all I've done, and it's based on a shop on one of the boardwalks that I've seen on the east coast of America. I'm sorry, I don't know which one it is, but it's Dolores I think it's called. But I just loved the brick and the white and the blue. I just loved how like modern and fresh it felt as part of a seaside, and it sort of felt like it would fit in with the Caribbean feel. And the last bit then on this one is just where we're going to buy the tickets. So obviously we don't have any kind of tickets going on in this dome at the moment, so we need to put a couple of ticket outlets. This is going to be a 4D cinema. I don't know if I'm going to get this done in this episode. I want to get everything around the dome and inside the dome finished this episode, but of course I just need to make sure that everything inside looks great first. And then the last thing is this stairway. So this is very much ripped off by Fantasy Island, but none of you have realised or pointed out up until this point. I don't know if it's because you just kept quiet because you're all polite, but we didn't have any disabled access to this top part. It's all stairs, and this was always intended. So I've put a ramp in here, so you've now got actual disabled access. We've now got stairs, we've got disabled access, and I just need to bring this together. So I'm going to stop talking, I'm going to carry on with the update, and I will see you for the next one. Alright, so the Carnival of Colour is really starting to come together. Like, this has been so much fun to do. Like, I've loved doing this. This is like proper drawing out as much creative juices as I can possibly muster. So just the elephants in the room. I've not done anything down here, and the 4D cinema's not even remotely done. There's still some stuff that's unfinished over here. The pizza place hasn't been touched, so just so you know those in advance. But this is now in a position that I'm going to be able to better show you around. I mean, this golf course has just come together like I didn't even think it was going to. It just looks like mini golf, right? So I had to sort of like rein it back a little bit. I got a little bit too creative with some of the holes and everything that I was making, and I had to remember constantly that this is for kids. So we have a chain over here called Junkyard Golf, not sponsored, which is more aimed at adults and teenagers and stuff. And the holes are a lot more challenging, and they have a lot more moving parts and stuff. And I was like, no, actually, Fundy Funspot is meant to be for families and kids. So I had to really rein it back and make the holes much easier. And the idea of a golf course is that you don't really want to cause a bottleneck. And so you don't want your holes to be too difficult. And I think I may have my final hole may actually be a bit of a bottleneck because it's quite a difficult one. You have to sort of go along here, over the ramp, back this way, over the ramp again. So I might need to change this one, but I wanted this idea that the pirate area extended out. I wanted a reason to have this yellow in use as well for this concrete. It wasn't just for the whirly rig. I wanted it to actually serve a purpose. I still need to put in its ticket booth and everything, so that's not done yet. But I wanted this idea of walking along some kind of boat or some kind of boardwalk, especially as this idea down here was supposed to be a boardwalk, right? So I definitely wanted a boardwalk, so I put in the first hole here, which has got a loop-de-loop, and then you walk across the driftwood. So the driftwood actually is there, and it's supposed to be hiding gaps, so it's like a joinery in the boardwalk. That's its purpose. And then we come down to this one where I've just thrown some barrels, of course. Barrels, why not? So get your ball through the barrels, and then we come through this way to the pyramids. So this one's nice and simple. Oh, by the way, I wanted somewhere to use this animatronic. I was desperate to use it in the pirate area because I love it, and I don't normally use it because it's a bit OTT, right? But I thought this is just brilliant because this is a concrete facade. It's a concrete wall, and it just felt like it needed something just to hide the fact it was a stark concrete drop. So yeah, I just put that in, and then we come across this way to the other hole. This would just be like almost impossible to do, right? And then we've got this. Actually ended up being the share icon, right? So I just completely made this up, and then it wasn't until I realised actually it looks like the share icon. So this is on, obviously, of course, there's a bit of tidying up and stuff to do, but this is on top of the arcade, so you can't have too much weight sitting on the roof. All of the other stuff is all supported from underneath using pillars and poles and stuff. And yeah, of course, there is a risk that there's going to be kids that are going to be smacking balls across over the fences and down into the crowds below. So I need to sort some netting and stuff out. But for now, all I'm going to say is that an elf or a dwarf will come along and stab the kids if they do that. So for now, you're going to get stabbed if you smack your ball over into the crowds below. So just be warned. There's a staff room for them over here, so they're going to come and get you. So it's random. So yeah, we come around this way, and then we have the other logs in here, and then we're going to come around this way, and there's just another standard hole, and then we come down the ramp, and we're going to come into the snake pit. I wanted to dress this up as a snake. I haven't decorated this hole yet, so I might decorate this as a snake. And then we come up to the final hole, which is the challenging hole, and then it comes back out. So yeah, this now gives complete purpose to this whole area. Like I wanted the brick to stop, and I wanted the sand concrete to come around this way. You've got some kind of archway. There will be a pirate building here, and then the Carnival Caribbean building here, and then there'll be like a separation point where the two themes transition into each other. So that's kind of where I'm going with that. The ramp, obviously, I couldn't do a custom concrete ramp, so I've just chosen the in-game what they call slabs, and it actually looks alright. It looks like it does what it needs to do, so I thought it's just going to work. And then you've just got the concrete along here, so yeah, looking really, really, really good. And I just like how this sits on the sightline and how it sits on the profile, especially from like here. This idea of it going underneath the path going underneath the golf course. It actually works out really, really, really nicely. I'm like chuffed with how that worked out. So I've also done some work on the games unit as well. So this was pretty much ready to show you last time, but I just didn't because it just didn't feel like it was completely ready. So this is just the inside of the games unit. Forgive the clipping, it does stop. See, it does stop. So I just wanted to really... Oh, I need to tidy this up as well. Maybe this isn't so ready to show you after all. So, quick, don't look there. So I just wanted this idea of a really quick and dirty game stall. Like just an arcade that you just throw a load of stuff in. You couldn't put a ride in here. You couldn't put one. Well, you would probably have a flat ride, but we can't because they're too big in game, right? So it's just an idea of throwing together some monetized areas and just throwing some games into a room and just being done with it. I mean, Fantasy Island does this really quite well as well. So yeah, this is bugging me. I need to sort that out. And then I've done the same this side. So I've given it a bit more of a prominent entrance here. Because it's sort of, you're walking this way and you want to draw people into the arcade rather than walking around past the golf course. So that's kind of what I've done here. And again, you can see people playing golf on the top. And I've kept it really loose and played it quite fast and loose with the theming on the top of the roof here. Because obviously you are supposed to be in the Carnival Caribbean area, but you've come from the pirate area, so you sort of need to try and find a way of blending the two. And that's why I've chosen the green up here and just put the barrels and stuff around, so it shares the theme between the areas and gives it that link between the two. So then we've now got our Rising Raptor, and I've managed to sort out the Volcano-ish to a point where I'm a bit happier with it than my initial investigations were. So that little thing that I put in actually helped just to put the rocks in all of the right place. So that's where I'm at, and I've just used the Goza Temple brick for the floor, the same one that I used up here, but I've just coloured it an appropriate colour to sort of help this blend between the adventure area and the carnival area. So I've sort of let that blend in, and remember we're still using this as a volcano and it's still being used for 3 different themes: the Caribbean theme, the pirate theme and the adventure theme. So that's the idea that we've got here. And of course we've just got a couple of flat rides that I've just kitted out with some stuff. It needs some touching up, it needs some decorating. I think this doesn't really tell too much of a coherent story. I need to do something with it, but I don't know what yet. I need to sort of let the rest of the area build out first. But the toilet area is done, and I found this building. Same place that I did all of the others. I found this style of building, and I just love it. And the colour, like the colours that the Caribbean cities use are just beautiful. Like, they're so vibrant. And it just gives you an excuse to really run wild with some of the stuff that you're designing. So that's what I've done. There's blues, the purples and the reds and the yellows. They just complement each other so well. Especially if it's a bit more of a pastel-y blue and a bright, vibrant white. You know, it's just that... You can just imagine the sun beating down, and it just is so good. Pizza My Heart, I haven't done anything. I've actually put a pizza shop inside. That's a lie. I put a pizza shop inside and made it connect to the outside world. That's about it. This needs to be done up into the cityscape. All I'm going to do is I'm just going to copy this over to this side. I don't think it needs any more effort than that. I've just made the night along here, but this is like, I still love this architecture. Again, it's that vibrancy. It's just so bright. I just love it. I love it. I've started to use this cobblestone as well. So as you already know, this area here is all going to be an arcade area. So I've just started to put the cobblestones down where I think there are going to be games units. And then also just to have a reason to have the cobblestoning, I've also put it here as well, just to sort of give it that coherent throughfare. But I've kept this one as the main street. So that's where I'm sitting at right now. So the rest of the area then, this is obviously going to be an arcade, and that's going to be more modern. The 4D cinema I need to do, I don't even know what the theme and everything is that going to be. Obviously it's going to need to be Caribbean themed, but I just don't know what's going to come in here, so I'm just going to let that play and see what happens. All I do know is that I'm going to need to bring it up a ramp. And I'm going to need to have the exit coming along here. And of course it's not going to be functional in game, so you kind of go, well, how much time do you want to waste on it? But it needs to be done. It's got to be a 4D cinema. Something like this attraction, this whole Fundy Fun spot would have that kind of thing, right? So yeah, then I need to do Pizza My Heart. I need to do the bit out the front here. I need to finish this bit off. And then, of course, we need to do the front bit here and tidy this up and make this an actual thing as well. So there's still plenty to do. So with that in mind, I'm just going to shut my mouth and I'm going to get on with it, and I will see you for the next one. Alright, penultimate update time, and there is a lot that's happened. You can see that we've got some lids already going on to some things that weren't built previously. There's loads to show you, and I don't really know where to start, so I think we're probably a good place to start is where we left off, right? So this is the view of inside the actual pyramid area itself, and Coaster Monkey Studios actually introduced me to the island at Pigeon Forge, and as soon as I saw the images I was like, oh my god, that's exactly what I'm trying to achieve with this area. So I've borrowed a little bit from that, and you'll see that in a moment because I've done some work. Most of the work has all happened around the back here, bringing it all to life. So we've got the ticket kiosk and the pizza restaurants done, a bit of touching up around and about, and of course it still needs a full Theme Maker's Toolkit pass, but I've already started to put bins and benches and stuff in. So coming down this way, I have fixed the games unit. Sorry, bad camera. Come on. There we go. Bad camera. So I fixed fixed the bit that was annoying me. So that's all sorted. And then the front of the 4D cinema is now sorted. So it has a name, Ahoy 4D. Really imaginative. I just didn't know what to call it. And of course you can imagine it's going to be a pirate thing, which I'll show you that. I can't wait to show you that. It's going to be so good. So then we come down Main Street, and I've just kitted it out with all of its bins, benches, and all of the games units and all of this sort of stuff. Now, in real life in Fantasy Island, this area is just clustered full of stuff. I haven't put barriers down, by the way, so they're going to be walking through games units. This would just be clustered full of games machines and stuff, but because of the way that the hitboxes on the guests and the groups work, we can't do that. So I've just put them sparingly down. Plus we don't have that many. And what we do have, though, are these new arcade machines. So I think this is Black Man's Shadow. That's Theme Maker's Toolkit. These came out literally, or I found them last week. They came just at the right time. So I've started to spam these around instead. I have also just dotted it around with some actual real-life functioning games units as well, just so that we're able to actually make something functional of this. But this is a ticket booth then. This is where you would come and allow guests to walk through. It's just where you'd come and get your games tickets and your ride tickets and stuff. I wanted this to be down in this area. It sort of needed to fill a space, and I didn't want to clutter it out with too many arcade games and stuff, so this just felt like it needed to be. Very simple setup, nothing elaborate. It's just the pink and yellow and white and blue. That's literally all it is. I just wanted it to feel like it was a bit of a shed in the middle of this street, like a pop-up shop almost. So that's kind of what we're going for here. And then of course we've got all of the games units and stuff here. Done some tidying up around this kind of area, just to make sure that, you know, it feels alive. I put some planters in. We're using those quite sparingly at the moment, so this has actually had quite an effect. But I wanted to split these two from each other. It needed like some kind of separation, so that's what I've done there. Not much has changed over here, so this is still pretty much as we left it. But again, it's just all of the games units and the bins and benches and stuff that have come into life. Brought the path down this way. I wanted this to feel a bit disjointed. I wanted this to feel like it was a bit sort of out of place. I didn't want it to be a very clean cut line. I wanted to have three different textures almost fighting for imagery and everything here. That's kind of worked quite well. Just put a couple of trees around. They are actually hiding misdemeanors that I can't fix. So like this wood doesn't actually meet here, and same here. I just needed something to hide gaps, so that's what I've done. And then we come round into the pizza restaurant. Pizza restaurant has really come to life. So this is now the inside of the pizza restaurant. I've gone for modern. I haven't gone for the Caribbean style because this is going to be open to the outside world. So I wanted it to have the ability to be a modern pizza restaurant. So if we come in this way, I've used a lot of the girders, the steel girders. And then just a lot of red beams along here, a couple of overhanging downlighters, and just that usual green, white and red theming for everything Italian, right? It's very cheesy. And then over here we've got an open kitchen. I need to just put some staff in. But I liked this. I saw some pictures on Google of some pizza restaurants, and I liked this idea of having a set-aside kitchen that you can actually see them making the pizzas. And then I'm just saying that over here is where you would order. Just sort of makes sense, makes the whole thing functional. But yeah, this looks really good at night, actually, because you've got the red, white and green lighting and everything. So this does look all right. And it looks all right on the landscape as well, actually. It looks like it would be in here. It looks like it would be part of the city. It's not necessarily conforming to the Caribbean style architecture that we've got. It's that more modern beachy type feel, so it sort of comes together quite nicely. So you can see that I've put some lighting in. I'll show you around that in a moment, and you can see that I've put the lid on, so we've now got blackout on the actual ceiling. So coming over this way, I've finished off all of the cityscape along here. I've just done variations of what's already there. There's nothing new, but it's just to make it look like a street more than anything else. Rocktopus has had a new colour scheme, and it actually looks alright. It looks like it's just in the town square now. It just looks like it would be a thing in the town square. Similar to actually the carousel over in the adventure area. So come out this way. I've just started the process of making the outside. I still need to do all of these walls and stuff. I have no idea what's going to happen, but this is another big change. So we've now got ourselves an arcade. So I wanted almost like a modern 70s retro throwback feel to the arcade. So that's why we've got lots of neon, we've got lots of lights, and we've got the lights that are down the pillars as well. But on the background, when the sun's shining this way, you can see that the pillar is the same colour as the neon. So the idea is this is supposed to bring it to life at night, so it's a bit more vibrant at night. So let's take a look around. So we're going to come in this way. I haven't put bowling in yet. That's still to come. That's in the next bit. But if we take a look inside, I've done all of the ceiling, and we've got like this modern. And it's been a tidying up to do, but we've got this modern ceiling panels and everything. So I wanted, but with a blackout. So that's what I wanted here. The pool tables I've had to custom make. There is a logical thing that you have to do with pool tables. So they have to be twice as long as they are wide. But you can use any dimensions. There are no real regulation dimensions. The pool balls that I've used here as representation, they are just the light bulbs that come with TMTK that I've used up here. They're the smallest round thing we've got. They're still too big. Still far too big, but it's the smallest round thing that I've got, so that will have to do. And then everything else is all the desk and beams all put together. But I think it just looks really good. I think they do their job right. They also say as well that you're supposed to have 4 meters gap between each of the tables, because you have pool cues and snooker cues that are a certain length, and you have to allow for 2 players playing at the same time. So these are all 4 meters apart, and the tables are about the same size that you would find in real life. So I tried to keep that as real as I possibly can. And then over this way we've just got some games units. So I split up the whole arcade into different zones. So you've got snooker and pool, you've got games, you've got slots, you've got stuff down here, I can't remember what I've called it, and then you've got bowling that will be around the corner here. So this is the first of the game zones. I wanted to reuse the black brick that we had. That's the other side of the ghost train, and actually this works out quite nicely. It's very industrial. It gives it that industrial feel, and then just thrown down a load of games units with no care at all. And then we're just going to come around this way. Needs a bit more detailing, like I say, needs a bit of tidying up. But then I've done a bar, so this would be more of a soft drink bar or a coffee bar than it would be alcohol, but I've put alcohol in it. And again, I've gone for that modern 70s throwback feel, so it's almost like mixing modern and 70s together, with the neon. And this is where you'd order some food, and then it would become a sports bar, so this would show football games and stuff. And then I've just thrown down a load of seating, cocktail tables, just at the front here. Again, these could be moved if it was getting busy or whatever. Over this side then we've got games and slots and stuff. So this is just a load of games units that have been thrown down. The carpet is an image. It's a, what do they call it? A TV. What are they called? Oh no, forget your words, it's fine. It's just a TV thrown down. Billboard. It's a billboard with an image attached to it that I've just downloaded. And this is like the quintessential typical arcade floor. And it just finishes the area just so nicely, just with the same colours that we're using everywhere else. It just really brings the area to life. Then coming over this way we've got the black panel, and again I wanted that because of the colour juxtaposition. It makes the yellow and the blue really stand out. Just thrown some images around. I use these in Reigate Lake on Project X. I just liked them. They're just very geometric, so I just threw down the same ones. And then I just put the industrial brick. This is available on Theme Maker's Toolkit. Just the industrial brick down here just to break it up a little bit so it's not a completely dark black room. And then just games and everything in the middle, trying to make the most of the space. And then you've also got the skee ball somewhere, and then you've got the air hockey along this way. So like I say, needs a bit of touching up, it needs a bit of work, needs a bit of finishing, but that's pretty much, I'm happy with how that is. And I'll show you that at night time in a mo. But if we come out this way into the pirate area, where I've done some more tidying up, we're going to have a look at Ahoy 4D. So I wanted to keep this really simple and really cheap. So the queue line entrance and area is supposed to be themed around beach. So I've raided VidEasy all over again just to get some more videos. So this is supposed to be a bit of a beach. So I've put some rocks and some driftwood and barrels and nets and all sorts of stuff around. And then floor to ceiling is just a video of a beach, right? So you're supposed to feel like you're actually on the beach itself, looking out to sea. And then you go up the ramp, so I'm just going to go this way. So you go up the ramp, and then this would be like the holding area, where you'd wait for the next turn. And again, I've just thrown in a load of like videos, completely random. They serve no purpose to the story whatsoever, but hey, that's what we like. And then we walk in to a very modern and very new 4D cinema. So very blue and black. There's lots of effects going on, lots of sound, and the actual videos itself are the video walls are on the sides here. And yes, I have, before you ask. So let me show you. Let me just come back. Come on, camera, behave. There we go. No, too far. There we go. And this is what we've done. So I've just used all of the stuff that you would find in game. So I don't have the ability to sync up video that we've got either side, right? So more loud noises. So I've just used the same pirate video. This is the one that's found in game. But I've just triggered it up to a load of effects and to a load of stuff. But I've avoided anything wet and anything, he says, as bubbles fly out. So anything wet and anything that's littering. So there's no confetti, there's no fake snow, there's no sand, there's nothing like that. But I just wanted this idea of having an actual functional 4D cinema that would be kind of some kind of use, right? So lots of lasers, lots of lights, lots of smoke effects, lots of steam effects, all of that sort of stuff. And there's fire, fake fire, or controlled fire. It would rather than fake fire, so it'd be controlled fire, and then it comes to an end. So that's it's nice and simple. I didn't want to put too much effort in, but I just wanted it to be real enough. And then you come out this way, and then you go out of the exit, and then before you know it, no, that's the other wall. Before you know it, you're back out here, and you're back out to the Caribbean area. So let's show you around in the dark, because I've done lots and lots of work on lighting. So here we go. So the island at Pigeon Forge uses a lot of neon and strip lighting along the top of buildings. So I've just blatantly ripped that off. But it gives the area a bit of a warmth, like a really weird odd warmth that I had never even considered before. So I really like how this has turned out. I need to put the rigging and everything on the pyramid so that I can do the ambient lighting all along here, but the actual pirate lighting gives enough of an ambient light for now. Just put some coloured lighting on the side of Phoenix, just to bring that to life. And again, it's just very primary colours, very bright and bold and vibrant. And then we've got over here, we've seen this bit already with the different lighting. The toilets have got some lighting. Have I shown you in the toilets yet? I'm going to take it just in case. Toilets are done. It's all kitted out as you would. So you've got hand dryers, you've got, I think they're probably too high actually, and you've got some sinks and stuff, so I don't know if I've already shown you that. The Italian restaurant, so again it's very bright and vibrant. It's got that like bright light to it, but it's also got the green, yellow and red. No, it's no yellow, it's green, white and red. So it's just got that nice ambience going on in here. And then we come back out to the street. Let me just change my camera back. Because I need to be careful because of the blackout ceilings. So we've got lots of, again, vibrant colours. It's all pinks and purples and yellows that bring this to life. But I wanted to keep it really low level, low key, because of the strip lighting along the top of here. It needed to be like that needed to stand out more than anything. But of course, the ride area itself needs to be a little bit brighter because it's an operating health and safety area. So we've got a bit more brighter blues and brighter yellows going on over here, but then where there's the more guest area, it's more yellows and more greens. You know, it's a very, very vibrant kind of effect. Coming into, look at how this comes to life at night. It's beautiful. Like, it's proper chuffed with how this has turned out. So again, this is this effect of using the neons on the outside. It just really comes to life and all of the lighting comes up. I need to find a way of lighting up the Fundy Funspot, and I'm not quite sure how I'm going to achieve it, but yeah. The outside, it just looks so good. And then inside looks even better. Look at it. It's just so colourful. It just pops to life beyond anything I could even possibly imagine. So come on. So there we've got some, like, the colour on the ceiling, and it's got all of that different colours. It's just vibrant. It's got a theme, right? And then you just walk through, and then there's just the brightness of the area that you need, and the light just plays off everything else. So the next bit to finish off, then let me just go back to daytime. There we go. So the next bit to finish off is to put the roof on. I want to put something here, just to start this process of the outside. Maybe bring the path and stuff around. But I think that's then going to be done. I think that's going to be done enough. And then you just need to do a detailing pass where I just do a theme maker's toolkit, pass on absolutely everything that I've built, and it should come to life. So I'll see you for the next update. Whoops, I forgot to show you in here at night. Not really much to show you other than just the soft lighting that I've put down on the queue line and stuff, and how the videos pop to life on the screens. But the big one is all, well, you can see it's already clipping through the walls. It's just in here. So lots of moving lights and lots of like high level lighting that would light the way, and lots of runway lighting just so that you can allow guests the opportunity to know where they're going when they need to leave. So yeah, just wanted to really quickly show you that one, but I'm now going to cut to the next update. Alright then, so it's time for the done for now stamp, and I kind of had the dawning realisation whilst I was doing all of the fine details that I've actually spoilt the big reveal already, because the last update was quite chunky, and you've pretty much seen it all. You just need to see the detailed version, so I'm sorry about that, spoiler alert. So, I've done all the detailing around the golf course. It's now all ready. It's just a shame we can't get it to be used. I did toy with the idea of using paths to get people to walk around it, but it just was a mess, so I just quite like it as it is. But we do now have ourselves a golf hut thing, with a till and everything, and just a few game stalls and everything that's been dotted around. So I like how this has turned out. Actually, I thought this was going to look way worse than it was going to, because I've never built a mini golf course in my life, but I'm really chuffed actually with how it's turned out. So the whole course, nine holes worth of fun going on, especially with the way that it interacts with the path underneath it and the arcade and everything. So yeah, I'm liking this. Over at Phoenix, I've just put the ride signs in. So we've now got our height signs and whatever. There are some new ones on the workshop, by the way, that are available. They're pretty much the same signs, but they're just a different design. And they actually appear in the scenery tab rather than the building tab. So I might be using that for my next build. Spoiler alert. And then we come across to the waltzers. I haven't given it a name yet. I'm going to do that in the next episode. But again, just some touching up going on in the area. Nothing major. And then we have our flying wheel thing, whatever we're going to call this. Same deal, just the ride signs that have been added. Inside the arcade, a bit of touching up. I've just done some stuff along the walls. Along the walls, and just the games and everything inside are just now tidied up slightly. They're a bit better aligned. It's a bit tidier. I put some CCTV and stuff up, so this is how the games unit looks. We haven't actually looked properly in here, and I really like how garish this ceiling is. It just looks so hideous. It's just so overpowering, but it's great. Yeah, so that's the arcade. Come out this way, and then we come to Ahoy 4D. So again, just touch up stuff in here. I was already pretty happy with how this was looking in here. One thing I have done is in the actual cinema itself, just added a fire exit and some stuff that you need down the bottom. So an AED, a fire extinguisher, and a fire alarm push point to raise the alarm, whatever it's called. So yeah, that's what I've done in there, but I'm pretty happy with how this has turned out as well, because it looks so good when it's in operation. So if you look at a 4D cinema, they are really bland when they're not in operation, because everything comes to life when it's actually working. So yeah, liking this one. Then we come out back to the rest of the carnival, and I've put in the barriers now, so people shouldn't be walking so freely through all of the games stalls. Not ghosts. So that's now done. Fixed up a few things along here. Didn't realise that the wall wasn't quite finished, so that's now that's now a thing. Done the pizza. So there we go. Pizza place is actually empty. Why is it empty? I wonder why. Oh, I know, it doesn't matter. And I've also done the toilet area as well. This has just had a bit of touching up done to it. And then we come across to this side. So this is the view as you're walking in. So you've got the volcano and the mountain in the background. You've got a couple of rides. You've got the cityscape, and then you can't actually see the pirate stuff. And then over this way, you can go down to the adventure side. So yeah, this is actually looking a lot better than I even imagined it to be. And when the lid's on, when we've done the actual pyramid, I'll do a full tour. So that'll be the next episode. So you can see how the story progresses as you go around the pyramid, and it's just one big cycle. And then this is what it looks like from this side as you walk in. So you greeted straight away with tickets and loads of games and a few rides and stuff. So with it all operating in the background, it just looks really good. I'm just really pleased with how that's actually turned out. And then the outside has had some work done to it. I've decided not to do anything on the left hand side as such, because I need to do the stuff outside for that bit all to make sense. So that's going to be coming later. This is something new to show you. This I have done some work on, and we've got another pun, and I swear I'm going to make a pun that is going to get me cancelled on Twitter at some point. So here we go with a gift shop that's going to be selling buckets and spades and stuff. Again, this is one of those gift shops that would probably be open all year, even though you're not actually near the beach, but you've got like all of your beach paraphernalia, your lilos, your buckets, your spades, your rock, all of that sort of stuff. So yeah, inside it's all kitted out. I just used a lot of the pirate stuff rather than using anything different. Need to still do some tidying up and whatever, but again, I'll do that once I start working on the outside of the pyramid. But yeah, so we're just in this process here with all of the stuff hanging up on the shelves, and then the stuff over here on the shelves, and then from outside it looks good. This is actually taken from, there's a gift shop on the beach near Cornwall. I can't remember the place, but it's a beautiful little village on the seafront, and this is very much inspired by colour and everything on that, in that sense. And then we're going to come around this way. So again, I've not done much along here. I know that this bit I do definitely want to have as panelling because there's going to be rides and stuff in front here that's going to obscure that. This is not going to be a shop. I've decided that already. And that's because I've done a little bit of pre-placing without actually showing you what I've done with sort of where I want stuff to be. But then we come back to the arcade. So this is the arcade, now completely finished from the outside and all detailed on the inside. So whoa, what's changed? Where do I even start? So I've kitted all of this out properly with how I wanted it to be, and I've sorted all of the lighting, made sure that all of the decorations are in the right place. And I went back onto VidEasy and I found a couple of other arcade related videos rather than using some of the other ones that I did. So that's now in here. I dotted around some more cocktail tables because it kind of felt like that's what they would do. These these pool tables would need to be serviced by some kind of tables, so you know, where people put drinks and whatever. So I just decided that was going to be a thing. And I dotted around some more functional stuff. So I put a popcorn maker, gobstoppers and stuff all around here, and then the bowling alley. So I've sorted the bowling alley out. I like how it's sort of just long and thin and they just shoved it in where they can. And there is also a gap down the side here that you can actually go down to sort the pins and everything out. So I've made sure that's got that. Now, in real life, this wall would be much thinner, right? So this gap would be about right, but it's a metre wide in game. So it's just a shame that the whole scaling of the game just makes things look wrong. Like, for example, the pool tables, they're the right size, but they look small. But when you actually put a person next to them, they look right, well, you know what I'm saying. So yeah, so that's now done. The bar area has been kitted out with some more stuff. It's just now had finalised stuff. You know, there's notices on the wall, and there's the menus, and there's the ice makers and stuff at the other side of the counter. I don't know if we can see them. The ice makers are the other side of the counter. Crates and stuff all along the side. So yeah, this is now all finished and looking cool. And then likewise with this side here, I've just made sure that everything is kitted out properly, recoloured some of the grabbers, and just filled this out. Like I've forgotten to put the skee ball machines and stuff in. So yeah, this is good, and this is where this whole build comes to life when we go into night time. So look at, I don't know if you guys are gonna like look at this and go, I don't know why he's so excited, why is he making such a fuss? But I just love how this looks at night. It's just arcadey, like it's exactly as you would imagine an arcade to be. And like down here, just loads of bright, vibrant colours and just almost sickly. You can smell the sugar in the air, and you can almost feel the chewing gum on this carpet, and like you can almost just live. You can almost just put yourself into that scenario and imagine it as being this god-awful tacky arcade. Like that's kind of what I'm going for, but with this, yeah, it's just like I keep saying, it's just turned out so much better than I thought. At night time, we've obviously already seen the golf course. This has already come to life. I like the low level yellow lighting. It sort of fits quite nicely, and then the lighting along the top of the buildings looks really good. Now that everything is finished and coloured, this is exactly as I wanted it to be. And then we come down this way to Pizza My Heart, and this is now how the whole area looks. And again, it's that low level warm lighting that I've gone for. And I don't know if you noticed before, this isn't new, this was in the last update, but the neon lighting on the top is actually the Italian colours as well. So if you look, there's green, white and red, green, white and red, and then there's just blue in between. And then we come over this way, same, nothing's really changed with the lighting over here. It just looks really, really warm and really good. And so from up above, this is now how everything looks at night, and it's now really super busy. But this is the build. This is how everything is. Let me just go back into daytime so you can see this here. There we go. So that's the pyramid. Next episode, we're going to be putting the lid on it, and we're going to be closing it all in, and I can show you around whilst it's actually inside. So guys, thank you so much for coming along today. Really do appreciate every single one of you that stays to the end of these videos. You absolutely mean the world to me. Remember, if you want your builds to be included in the bringing it to life alive in the world episode, then you know what to do. I'll upload your buildings to the workshop, Fundy Funspot in the title, and then whatever you want to call your building, that's what I'll be using. But like I say, thank you so much for coming along to the end. Please subscribe to the channel if you aren't already. We're on that grind to 1,000, and you guys are rewarded with an RMC of the Tapio coaster in Reigate Lake. So you know, get subscribing, and if not, if you already are, then get sharing, because if you want it, then we need to get to that magic 1,000. But thank you so much for all of your support, and I will see you in the next episode. And of course, you already know, until we speak again, please keep safe and look after yourselves. Bye-bye.